This week's Screwball Tech Tip, we're going to be going through the HT release. I'm going to show you how to adjust it. I'm also going to show you how to change it from a click to a non-click, or vice versa. In this little video, I'm going to show you how to do that real easy, then also show you how to set the release for different sensitivities or whatever your desired setting may be. So I've got all my tools together here. I need a small Phillips screwdriver to remove the Phillips screw. I've got a 5/64 Allen wrench to make the adjustments as far as travel or sensitivity. I've got a small Allen wrench, 50,000 size, to push the pin out of the head of the release. And then I've also got some Loctite to reapply to the threads of the Phillips screw once I remove it and take it out. So initially I'm going to take this Phillips screw out of the release, and that's going to be the first step in removing the head to change my release from a click to a non-click. At the moment, I've also got a little string bow here. I'll set it and show you how you can actually hear the click, and that's what we're going to be removing. So, take your Phillips screwdriver, remove your Phillips screw from the head of the release. Set it down, be sure not to lose it because we will be using that again. I'm going to flip the release 180 degrees, and I'm going to insert my small Allen wrench in the opposite side of where the Phillips screw was and push the pin that holds the head of the release to the body of the release. So you can see I'm going to push that out. It's going to come out on your right side, my left side of the head of the release. Once you get it so far, you can simply just pull it out, and then now that has disconnected my head from the body of the release. So within the top here is where my speed dial sear sets, and it sets just like that with the tail of the release facing the thumb peg is the way I like to reference it. And now what I need to do is take that out, and then I'm going to set all my parts down. And we've got a spring here that needs to be flipped, as well as the speed dial sear itself. So we're going to remove the spring, just grasp the end of the tail of the spring and kind of rock it forward, and it'll come out. Holding it, I like to hold it still in my left hand and then just simply flip my speed dial sear around, and we're going to put the spring back in the opposite side as it just was. So now I'm inserting my spring in the side that has the click, so when I insert it into my release, it's going to give me a non-click on the release itself. So now I can pick my handle back up, and then the speed dial sear just simply sets back down in it, with the tail again pointing towards the thumb portion. Grab my head. There's a little U-shaped channel here that the spring is going to set in, so be sure to get that in correctly, and then just set it back down. Just like that, and then now we're ready to reinsert our pin. So we're going to go back to the side that the screw goes in, or the side that the peg come out of, and reinsert it. And now the easiest way I found is once you get it started into the head, kind of lift the actual head up, and then that kind of channels it into the right spot. And if you have to use the Phillips screwdriver to push it down the remainder of the way. Then we're going to use our blue Loctite. I like to use 248 because it doesn't lock up real tight and allows you to be able to take it out, yet it still holds the screw in position. And then we will insert a little bit of that on the end of the threads here. And now we're ready to put our screw back in. It's going to hold everything that we just took apart together. And we're finished, taking the click off. And I can demonstrate that by setting the head of the release here. And then now when I pull through the motion, it's just going to fire. There's absolutely no click. As far as adjusting the release, this release is pretty simple, but it's one of a kind. There's not many out there that have the ability to micro adjust. With the HT here, there's a lock screw on the bottom. This allows you to lock it down to tighten that screw up, and what that does is it 90-degree intersects with the actual adjustment screw that drives it hotter or colder depending on how you want to adjust it for your setting. So we take our 5/64 Allen wrench and we're going to insert it in this lock screw and loosen it. It only takes about 1/8 of a turn to relieve the pressure from the screw to make your adjustment. And then in the front of the release, the easiest way to do it is to lift the head in this motion to where it's all the way up, and then insert your insert your 5/64 Allen wrench to make your adjustment. The way this works is if you want to make it hotter, you're going to go clockwise. So we're going to turn this in a clockwise motion. And if you look inside here, there's a little window that has a pointer. Inside that window, you can actually see that pointer move back and forth as long as you have this head held up as you make your adjustment. So if we want to make the release colder, we put our wrench back in the head of the release here, and then we're going to go the opposite direction. So we would go counterclockwise to make it colder, clockwise to make it faster. So counterclockwise is going to make that dial move to the right or make it colder, which there is an arrow on here that points to the left that says hot. So if you're going to move to the left, of course you're going to make it hotter, which is the clockwise adjustment on the release. Once you get your desired setting, you go back to the bottom here and simply lock your lock screw back down. That ensures it won't move and you'll have the same setting each and every shot.